My name is Destiny Humrich. I'm a tattooer. I've been tattooing full-time now for 4.5 years. I didn't have a plan to start tattooing. It just sort of found me. My mentor's name is Kirsty York. She is the owner of Blackbird Ink Tattoo. And yeah, her and I went to college together. We were both in the illustration program at the Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design. But she just noticed that on my art Instagram, I was posting a lot of commissions for tattoo designs. And she reached out to me and asked, like, I know that you draw a lot of tattoos. Would you ever actually want to do it? And I was like, why not? So it kind of just found me. She was incredibly unique as a mentor because it was so loving and patient and positive. Traditionally, mentorships are, and this is changing, but like traditionally in the tattoo industry, if you're an apprentice, you get treated horribly. And Kirsty wanted to completely change how that process goes, and she has. The first month or two was shadowing. So I would come to the studio and I would just watch her tattoo. I would take notes. She would tell me how stuff worked. And then a couple months in, we started to practice with setting up and tearing down. So I got my bloodborne pathogen certification. So I'm like being safe, which is a huge part of that as well. So shadowing, cleaning, and then we moved into the process of like, this is how the machine works. And then I practice on fake skin, and then I would practice on fruit. And then my first tattoo had to be on myself, which was terrifying, and it's so bad, but it's okay. And then I started slowly taking on like volunteers, and then I tattooed for free for a couple months. So now I feel like I have gotten to a point in my career where my process is pretty streamlined. Now, as soon as someone comes into the studio, I greet them at the door, I bring them up here. I want it to feel very professional. The artwork is ready the day of. They see it the day of. But I always clarify, like, I know this is a very scary thing, so we can take time to make changes to this together. I never want people to feel pressured. So they see the design. I plan for a little bit of changes, which always ends up happening, as it should, And then once we get into that, you put the stencil on and just go for it. My tattooing style is black and gray illustrative. Technically more fine line, I guess, depending on who you're talking to. But I pull a lot of inspiration from Art Nouveau. I love like Alphonse Mucha, even like Gustave Doré, like woodcut stuff. Classical illustrative works are definitely what I've pulled from the most. Content-wise, I do a lot of florals, botanicals, lady faces. I love animals, animal bones. And I combine my background with illustration with tattooing by creating a narrative, because with illustration you're trained to be, technically proficient with drawing. You'll learn those fundamental skills, but you also have to learn how to tell a story, how to capture an emotion with these drawings. It's not just like a subject, it has to have some story. So being able to combine that in with tattooing has kind of been a big part of my style as well. There's no better feeling than the act of tattooing. First of all, is very fun. Like, I love tattooing. It's very entertaining, it's very satisfying. But the best part is at the end of the tattoo when the client sees it. Or even if they're looking at it the whole time and they're so excited. And like watching someone view themselves in a different way, that's like the best part. I just get to be a vehicle for them to have this thing on their body that makes them feel really good. And that's incredible.